What's up, y'all? Today I'll be talking about how to do any dungeon as fast as possible. Some good reliable info from your speedrunner birder race that I decided to pick. Anyway, right now there's a candy event, so this doesn't really help a lot for a lot of people. I know everybody's farming for Tuffle, but in the future we'll be stuck farming these dungeons anyway for the enchantments. And if you're not familiar with them, these dungeons have enchantments on the shirt, pants, and accessories that can drop from them. This particular dungeon, RR, drops the Strong enchantment, which gives plus 15 physical damage on every piece that you put on. And then for the dojo, there's a Key Max enchant, but there's only 2 accessories there. Anyway, get right into it. So what we want to do is we want to kind of gauge how the map layout is. You can see we only have 1 entrance, so it's not that bad to just go through there. And actually, that brings up a good point that I forgot to bring up. This method requires a game pass, sadly. It requires the hit move game pass, time skip, because we'll be using time skip in a very unintended way. And I'll show you that right after I talk about the first part. So, there's a couple places you can do this on the map, but if you hold against the wall here, you can actually look outside of the map. And what we're looking for is actually this little room here with the yellow stripe. That is the boss teleport location. So we know that the boss door is over there now. We learned that in like 5 seconds. So now that we know where the boss door is, we know the general direction of the dungeon that we want to head in. So the next step is how to go fast. So you can see we're kind of stuck here in the main room. That door's locked. You're supposed to kill everything, but we don't have time for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use time skip in the unintended way to go through this door here. And then suddenly we don't have to kill any of the monsters in there. And then we know we have to go that way because of what we saw earlier. So we'll time skip through this door. And oh, there's our boss key. And a bruiser that's annoying as hell. Alright, cool. Moving on, we know it's this way, and here's the boss room. Here's dojo. So this one's easier to see the layout of. You can go right up to this roof, and then bam, you can see the layout. So you know that's not going to go anywhere, that's not going to go anywhere, this is not going to go anywhere, that room isn't quite big enough, and then there's our boss room over there. So we can just head that way, see what we need. So we can't get through this door, but of course time skip solves that. Oh look, here's the boss key. And then there's the boss door. Simple as that. Get this. Hello? My word. Some of these mobs go crazy, y'all. Last thing I forgot to mention is that these dungeons vary in size based on how many people are inside of them. So it's much better, much faster to run it solo than run it with anybody else, at least in terms of speed, just for drops. Alright, that's it, y'all. Appreciate y'all.